Baz's farm, and his brother's on the header, cutting barley at the moment. And they told me that the thing behind the tractor we're towing is called a chaser, and they can follow along and dump the cuttings from the header, which has their own storage bin for a certain amount, and then they're going to chase it with this one to empty it into their chaser bins. Very cool. And the header is GPS controlled, so you can have hands off while it's travelling back and forth, but you've got to take it off to turn it and start again. Very cool. So guys who drink beer, I think this is the barley they may go into beer or some other. So when you sit down and have a beer, you say, well, it could be from Baz's farm or somebody else around the area. Riding the header, and this is the cones going through, pulling up the barley they're cutting at the moment, and it feeds through and then gets cut off, the head's off, and separates the grain at the back and all the husk and all the other stuff, and then it goes back to that chaser bin we filmed before, and then it goes into a bigger bin for storage, and then it goes off to silos or storage some other place. This header's got a autopilot, basically GPS settings, so the driver is not so stressed. He can work a bit longer hours if you need to these days for farmers. People out in the city have no idea that these guys spend a lot of money on the machines, a lot of time just to get bread on your table or beer in your hand, and it's an achievement that we should appreciate as Australians. Support the farmers. They think because they've got all this nice machinery that they must have plenty of dollars in their back pocket. It's not always the case. It costs a lot of money to repair, fix. They've got another machine the same as this one. Unfortunately, the earlier model had a terrible rim problem, and they're out of action. So then you've got the one header. So they're doing double the work. This is the last crop they're going to crop of barley, and the next section will be beans. And we'll take some footage of the beans when we get a chance to. They go black and they sit flat to the ground. A bit harder work for the machine to pick up and to reap, but that's part of the farming life. Unfortunately, you've got to go with the money goes, the best prices they can get to survive for the following year. You can see that's where the grain's going. You should get out of it a couple of laps before he's too full, so that's why they have the chaser bin to unload him, and time consuming as well, obviously. So that's where the barley is, going in the back hopper. He holds about 8-9 tonne of grain, and at the back of this thing will spit all the chaff and the crap at the back, the blowers and so forth and so on. But it's very interesting to see how it's done on a farmer working the land. And we're looking through the side mirrors, so we don't get dust in the cab, spitting the stuff out the back. So it spreads it everywhere. It all has value to the ground, to the soil somewhere. It's put back in, and nutrients and so forth for the next year cropping. So this is looking at the other side view of from the header to the chaser bin. 5 tonner roughly in grain. And when he fills this up or gets enough, he will transfer it to his other bigger storage bin next to each other until this hopper is empty, or gets it to the end of the run, and he'll back off. And the driver of the header will pull back away from it. It's fed to the back out the road. Very interesting stuff.